The brightest flames cast the darkest shadows, not to be feared, but to remind you of your power. While they gather, plotting in whispers and shadows, hoping to dim your light, you stand unbothered, calm like a storm's eye. Let them scheme, let them throw their stones and curses. Every blow they send your way, it ricochets back with double the force, because they're not fighting you, they're fighting the universe that chose you. And the universe never loses. See, they thought they could break you, thought they could drag your name through the mud. But mud only dirties those who sling it. You wear their hate like armor. Their envy sharpens your edge. Every time they wish for your downfall, the universe builds you higher. Their hands are bloodied from throwing stones, but you're sipping tea on the throne they swore you'd never sit on. Before we get deeper, take a second, like this video, subscribe, and help spread this message to every chosen one out there. Every like, every share signals to this platform that this message, the message they don't want you to hear, reaches those who need it. Let's shake the algorithm like we shake the enemy. Now listen close. You weren't given this path. You were chosen for it. And being chosen, it's not easy. It's not soft. The universe didn't pick you to play small. It picked you to stand tall while others crumble. And that haunts them. That power, that light you carry, it's too bright for their eyes. Like moths to a flame, they come close, but they can't handle the heat. That's why they act out. That's why they try to make you doubt yourself. But here's the truth. They were never fighting you. They were wrestling the universe itself. They just didn't know it. And you? Stop playing small. Stop doubting your light. Stop thinking you're alone. How dare you sit there and wonder if you're enough? The universe moves mountains for you. You're out here shifting timelines with your mere presence. You walk in rooms and the energy shifts before you even speak. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's power. That's chosen energy. When the storms rise and the chaos swirls, you stay calm. That's what makes them lose their minds. While they scramble and stress, you're chilling like the villain, unbothered, unmoved, unshaken. You hold a peace that can't be bought, a vibe that can't be touched. And they hate it, they fear it, because no matter what they do, you don't break. You bend the world around you. Your existence alone is a revolution. Your calm is a weapon. Every time you don't react, every time you don't fold under pressure, you prove that the universe made no mistake in choosing you. You're the mirror they can't stand to face. Because your light exposes their shadows. Your success reminds them of their failures. Your peace shows them the war within themselves. So next time you feel that doubt creeping in, next time you wonder if you're truly chosen, remember this: the universe doesn't make mistakes, and if they're losing their minds while you're just chilling, then you're doing exactly what you were meant to do. Stay unbothered, stay shining. Let them lose their shut while you sit back, cool as ice, because you are the chosen one. So, if you've felt their eyes on you, if you've sensed the chaos rising while you stay cool, this message is your signal. Drop the number 77 in the comments if you know they're losing their minds while you're chilling like the villain. This isn't just another video. It's a call to every chosen one out there, holding their peace like a weapon. Stick around, because what's coming next, it's about to hit different. If you're really chosen, you'll feel that pull to stay till the end. Let's tap in dive deeper, and keep them losing their short while we stay solid. Number 1. Sitting high while they scramble low. You can't drown the one who has learned to breathe underwater. Let that settle. While they're out here flailing, gasping for control, trying to drag you down into the chaos they live in. You've adapted. You've built lungs for the storms they send. Every wave meant to drown you only made you stronger. And now, they're losing their shot because you're floating, chillin' like the villain, while they sink in the mess they made for you. This is the part they can't stand. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're thriving in the very storm they hoped would tear you apart. You've made the battlefield your home. You've turned their attacks into fuel. You're sitting high while they scramble low, watching them fall over themselves, obsessed with your downfall, while you sip peace like fine wine. And here's the brutal truth. They never stood a chance. Not against you. Not against the universe that chose you. But let's pause for a moment. Before we peel back the next layer, if you're feeling this energy, drop a 100 in the comments to let the world know you're standing solid. This isn't just a video. It's a gathering of the chosen. Every like, every comment, every share, make sure this message gets to the ones who need it. Stick with me. If you're really about that chosen life, you'll feel the pull to stay until the end. Because what's coming? It's designed to sharpen your crown. Now, let's dig deeper. See, the thing they never figured out is this. You were built different from the start. You weren't born to blend in. You were carved from a different material. They don't understand the blueprint that made you because they weren't given access. They're playing checkers while the universe set you up on chess. Every move they made against you was anticipated by forces far beyond their comprehension. That's why they're frustrated. That's why they're unglued. Every scheme, every plot, every whispered attack, they aimed it at you, but it hit the shield the universe wrapped around your purpose. And yet, you sit there, doubting, wondering if you're really chosen, wondering if you're really built for this. How dare you question your light? How dare you doubt the blueprint the universe designed specifically for you? You think it's a mistake that you're here? You think you've been through all this for no reason? Wake up. The universe doesn't waste energy on the unprepared. Look around, feel the tension. That unease in the air when you walk into the room. That's not paranoia. That's the universe announcing your presence. You shift atmospheres. You alter vibrations. That's why they act funny. That's why they try to bait you into reacting. They can't handle the gravity you bring. You don't just enter spaces, you redefine them. But here's the kicker. They're not even fighting you. They've picked a fight with the system that runs the cosmos. They're out here swinging at the architecture of the universe itself. That's why they're losing their style. That's why every attempt to break you falls apart. Because they were never meant to win. The universe aligned itself in your favor. You don't fight your battles alone. You've got the current of the cosmos pushing behind every step you take. So why are you still doubting? Why are you still questioning if you're enough? If the universe had to realign stars to get you here, what makes you think you're here by accident? You were chosen, and that choice haunts them. It haunts them because they can't figure out why the universe keeps backing you, why every trap they set collapses under its own weight. And your silence, your calm, that's the real dagger. You sit still, you breathe easy, and it slices through them like nothing else. because they want a reaction. They crave your fall. They need you to stumble so they can feel powerful. But you sit there, chilling like the villain, and they spiral into madness. Here's a truth they'll never admit. They were fighting the universe, not you. They were playing with the system, challenging something way bigger than either of you. And now, they're paying the price. Because every strike they threw at you only made you stronger. Every time they tried to block your path, they taught you how to build new roads. You're not just chosen, you're unstoppable. So let this burn into your mind. Stop doubting your light. Stop wondering if you belong here. The universe made its choice long before they even knew your name. And every time they lose their minds while you stay unbothered. That's the universe flexing through you. Stay calm, stay ruthless. Let them crumble while you stay seated on your throne. Because you are the chosen one. Number 2. Guarded by the unseen, feared by the unready. The louder they yell, the clearer it becomes. They're screaming at walls they can't break, doors they'll never open. While they plot, while they panic, while they wage war with shadows, you sit in silence, backed by sentinels they cannot see. You didn't come here alone. You were sent here with backup, and not just any backup. Cosmic sentinels, forces older than time itself, stand at your side, guarding the gates to your peace, defending the throne they'll never reach. They've been stationed there long before your first breath in this world. While you were forming, while you were learning, they've been watching, waiting, holding the line. These aren't ordinary guards. They don't move for petty battles. They don't flinch at small minds. They stand firm at the edges of your energy field, ready to dismantle any attack aimed at your spirit. The enemy doesn't even know why their plans collapse, why their traps misfire, why their words lose power before they hit. It's because they're not fighting you. They're charging into a wall of ancient power, energy woven through the very fabric of this universe, forces that rise only for the chosen. And here's where it gets brutal. The enemy isn't just losing battles, they're fighting wars they can't even see. They're swinging at shadows, shouting at walls, screaming into the void, desperate to shake your foundation. But you remain still. You remain centered. And that drives them insane. You're calm. It's a declaration of war they can't win. Every time you refuse to bite the bait, refuse to be dragged into their emotional chaos, they crumble a little more inside. Because your silence is loud. Your peace is deafening. Understand this. Your calm smile sends shockwaves through dimensions they don't even believe in. The emotional warfare they're trying to pull you into. That's a battlefield you've outgrown. They want you to fight on their level, in the mud, in the mess, where they feel powerful. But you've elevated. You've leveled up. You're standing on the balcony of your inner kingdom, looking down while they throw tantrums at the gates. But let's address you for a second. How many times have you felt the pull to react, to clap back, to prove yourself, to get dragged into the noise? And why? For what? You were never meant to fight those battles. The universe didn't align its sentinels to protect you just so you could step down from your throne and wrestle in the dirt. Every time you hold your position, every time you remain unbothered while the world tries to shake you, you win. Without lifting a finger, without saying a word, you win. And that victory, it echoes far beyond what your eyes can see. It's not just about this moment. It's about every dimension your energy touches. It's about the unseen realms that respond to your strength. When you stay calm, when you refuse to react, you activate celestial mechanisms, powers designed specifically for your unique frequency. You set off alarms in spiritual realms. They tremble because they recognize the signal. A chosen one, standing firm? That's a cosmic event. Here's what they'll never understand. They can't touch what's guarded by the universe. They can't breach walls that weren't built by human hands. They can't dismantle a kingdom that stands on the laws of the cosmos. That's why they're exhausted. That's why they come at you harder, louder, more desperate. Because every attack they launch leaves them weaker, emptier, more drained. While you sit there, sipping your peace, multiplying your strength. Let's make something clear. You are not here to explain yourself. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. Your existence alone is proof of the universe's favor. You are walking evidence that they've lost before they even started. And their hate, their envy, it's the only confession you'll ever need. They expose themselves every time they lash out, every time they try to shake you, because if you weren't powerful, if you weren't chosen, they wouldn't care. But they care. Oh, they care. And that's why they hate. They hate that you're untouchable, that no matter how loud they scream, no matter how messy they get, you stay centered. You stand tall while they burn themselves out. And that's your power. That's your warfare. You wage battles through peace. You fight without lifting a hand. And every time you do, you shatter them from the inside. But don't get it twisted. The universe didn't choose you because you were perfect. It chose you because you could handle the weight. Because you could hold your peace in the middle of a storm. Because you could stay still when everything around you demanded you react. Chosen doesn't mean easy. It means equipped. And you've been equipped from day one. So stop questioning it. Stop wondering if you're strong enough. The fact that they're waging emotional warfare against you, that they're trying this hard to pull you down, that's your confirmation. You are the threat they can't silence. You are the fortress they can't breach. You are the chosen one they fear but won't admit. And every time you smile in the face of it, every time you breathe deep, hold steady, and watch them fall apart while you remain untouched, that's a win they'll never recover from. Stay seated, stay still. Let your cosmic sentinels handle what you were never meant to touch. You are guarded, you are chosen, and they're losing their shut, because no matter what they throw your way, you're chilling like the villain, unshaken, undefeated. Number 3. The war for your mind, where empires rise or fall. They couldn't break your body, so they came for your mind, because a conquered mind builds its own prison. Now we're talking. You feel that? That's the real fight. They realized a long time ago that breaking your body wouldn't be enough. Your spirit? Untouchable. Your soul? Off limits. But your mind? That's where they aim, because if they can chain your thoughts, they don't have to chain your hands. If they can bend your mind, they don't need your body. You'll build your own cage, brick by brick, thought by thought. That's the level they're playing on. And they've been at it for a while, whispering doubts, injecting fears, launching thought missiles straight into your consciousness. And you thought those doubts were yours. You thought those fears came from within. But nah, They've been feeding you that poison. And why? Because they fear what happens when you wake up. They fear what happens when you reclaim your mental sovereignty. Let's make this crystal clear. The real battlefield isn't out there. It's in the 6 inches between your ears. That's the ground they're fighting for. That's where they wage war. The cosmic war for your frequency, for your power, for your peace. And until you see it for what it is, you're fighting blind. But once you see it, once you recognize that not every thought is yours, game over for them. Because here's the brutal, no-fluff truth. If they can win in your mind, they win everywhere else without lifting a finger. You'll fold before you even step into the fight. They'll have you convinced you're not ready, not worthy, not chosen. And the worst part, you'll believe it was your idea. That's the prison they want you in. A prison with no bars, just beliefs, chains made of doubt, locks made of fear. And why are they so desperate to keep you there? Because the second you take back your mind, the second you reclaim that sacred territory, the war flips. You become the threat, the real threat, the one they've been trying to prevent all along. Because a chosen one with mental sovereignty, that's a walking revolution. You know it, you've felt it. Those moments when your mind is clear, your thoughts are aligned, and the world just moves differently around you. That's not luck, that's mastery. That's you holding the battlefield steady. And when you do that, the external bends to you. Your reality reshapes itself. People act different, opportunities flow, obstacles dissolve. That's not magic. That's the universe responding to your unshakable frequency. But they know that too. That's why the attacks keep coming. Silent wars, emotional bombs, thought ambushes. They don't want your hands tied. They want your mind tied. They want you second-guessing, overthinking, doubting your own light. Because if they keep you spinning in that cycle, they win without ever showing their face. But here's where you flip the script. You take the throne back. You slam the gates of your mind shut. You post guards at every entrance. Every thought that comes in, checked, searched. If it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't honor your power, it doesn't get in. Period. They can't win if you don't play. They can't plant seeds if you burn the soil. This is your mind, your kingdom, and the moment you reclaim it, the moment you stand guard over your thoughts, you become untouchable. And they hate that. They hate that you're waking up, that you're realizing the war was never outside, that the real battle has always been inside your head. And once you master that space, once you own that territory, the war ends before it even starts. So here's your move. Hold the line. Guard your mind like the fortress it is. Let no lie, no fear, no doubt get through. You are the sovereign of this space. You decide what lives here. And when you stand tall in that truth, the world bends to your command. Number 4, starve the snakes. Cut off the head of every thought that crawls in. They can't reach your throne, so they slither into your mind. Kill the thought, starve the serpent. That's how they play this game. They know they can't take your crown. They can't storm your kingdom. So they sneak in through the cracks, sliding into your head like serpents, wrapping their lies around your thoughts, hoping you'll mistake them for your own voice. But they don't announce themselves. They come disguised as logic, as doubt, as fear, whispering things that make you question who you are, what you carry, whether you're really chosen. But let's be clear, you are. That's why the snakes are here in the first place. No one attacks what isn't valuable. They don't waste time on the unchosen. They come for you because your light exposes their shadows. Your mental sovereignty starves their schemes, and they hate starving. They need you. They need your attention, your emotion, your energy. Without it, they die. So they bait you, throw intrusive thoughts like darts, hoping one will stick, make you question your worth, make you replay failures, make you fear what's next. But it's not your voice, it's theirs. And if you don't know that, if you can't tell the difference, you end up feeding the very thing sent to destroy you. That's why thought filtering isn't optional. It's warfare. It's survival. Every thought is a potential invader, and your mind is the last battlefield. You've got to stand guard. Every day, every minute. No breaks, no passes. Because the snakes don't sleep. They wait for your guard to drop. And when it does, they slither right in. But not today. Today, you sharpen your sword. Today, you cut off the head of every thought that crawls in without permission. You stop feeding them. You stop letting them twist your mind into a playground for their poison. Because every time you engage, every time you water a thought that's not yours, you feed the serpent. And the serpent grows stronger. But when you hold the line, when you starve them out, they shrivel, they die. Because psychic vampires, energy leeches, thought serpents, they can't survive without your consent. Without your engagement, they're powerless. So you become the gatekeeper, the bouncer at the door of your own mind. Every thought gets checked, every whisper gets questioned. If it doesn't align with your power, your light, your purpose, it gets cut down. No negotiations. No second chances. This is spiritual discipline at its highest form. Most won't do it. It's easier to just let the thoughts flow, to believe everything that passes through your head. But you're not most. You're chosen. And with that comes the responsibility to guard your inner world like it's sacred ground. Because it is. The universe is watching. It sees the battles you fight in silence, the wars you win without anyone noticing. It knows that what you allow to grow in your mind shapes what manifests in your world. So, what are you planting? What are you feeding? Are you nourishing weeds and wondering why your energy feels off? Or are you ripping them out at the root, starving every serpent that dares slither close? This is your call. Starve the snakes. Cut off the head of every thought that crawls in. Don't let them feast on your focus. Don't let them wrap around your confidence. Your mind is a fortress, and you are the ruler. Nothing gets in without your say-so. Hold that line, guard that space, and let them starve. Number 5. Drown the noise. Leave the merchants of misery broke and begging. Misery loves company, but kings and queens don't dine with beggars. Open your eyes. Look around. They're everywhere. The merchants of misery, selling their sadness, hawking their hopelessness like it's gold. And what are they really after? You, your energy, your attention. They can't thrive on their own. Their darkness needs an audience, a buyer, a soul willing to take on the weight of their complaints. See, they don't just complain because they're hurting. They complain to recruit. Every sigh, every grumble, every negative word, it's bait. And if you're not careful, if you're not sharp, you'll get pulled right into their market, haggling over burdens that were never yours to carry. You'll walk away feeling heavy, drained, wondering why your peace feels so thin. That's how they feed. That's how they grow. They can't make you fall, so they drag you into group traps. those synchronized whirlpools of negativity, where everyone's throwing their misery into the circle, swirling it faster, pulling anyone too close into the spin. You ever walk into a room, into a conversation, and feel your whole energy drop? That's the vortex. That's the trap. They don't even need to aim it at you directly. When two or more of them start sinking their complaints, their anger, their sadness, it creates a gravitational pull, a spiritual sinkhole. And if you aren't anchored, it will drag you under. But not you, not anymore. Because now you see it. Now you recognize the merchants for what they are. They're not just venting. They're not just expressing themselves. They're trying to recruit. They need bodies to build their emotional empire. They need hearts to hook into their pain, because on their own, they're powerless. Their power only exists in the collective spiral. And here's the brutal part. They don't always come with obvious red flags. Sometimes they wear familiar faces, friends, family, co-workers, people you care about. But the moment they start sinking their misery, turning their conversations into echo chambers of complaint, that's when you need to recognize the battlefield. This is spiritual warfare dressed up as small talk. They'll tell you, we're just sharing. But sharing is a disguise. It's a transfer. They want to hand you their weight and watch you carry it. But the second you engage, the second you bite, the vortex opens. And you're inside, circling with them, feeling drained without knowing why. But here's where you break the cycle. Starve the vortex. Don't engage. Don't bite. Don't co-sign their misery with your silence or your sympathy. Stand still. Stay out of the pull. Let them spiral, but don't step in. Because the second you do, your spiritual batteries start to drain. You're giving them power just by being present, just by listening without a shield. And let's be clear, it's not about being cold. It's about being clear. You can care about people without being their emotional dumping ground. You can love people without becoming their feeding station. Because the moment you compromise your peace to make someone else comfortable in their chaos, you lose. They need you to react. They need you to nod, to agree, to add your energy to the spin. Without that, their vortex collapses. Their misery dries up. And that's why they hate your peace. That's why they resent your calm. Because you're not buying what they're selling. You're leaving them broke, starving, alone with their own noise. And that's the real power move. Walk away richer, richer in energy, richer in peace, richer in clarity. Don't let their desperation bankrupt your spirit. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Your light is currency, and they'll try to drain every drop. But when you hold your boundary, when you stay outside the circle, you keep your crown intact. Let them peddle their misery. Let them spin their webs. But not with you, not today. You see the trap, you see the play, and you step back, calm, centered, untouched, because you're chosen. And chosen ones don't get caught in group traps. Chosen ones break them. Number 6. Cut the cord. Keep the throne. Mastering ruthless detachment. The loudest move you'll ever make is silence that can't be shaken. They'll test you over and over again, poking, prodding, pulling strings, hoping you'll give them something, a reaction, an opening, a crack in your armor. Because once you react, you're playing their game. Once you engage, they've pulled you down into their arena, where chaos is king and peace is weakness. But you're not here for their show. You've outgrown the playground. They want you to swing wild, throw words, match their energy. But you've leveled up. You've learned the most powerful move isn't to fight back. It's to step back. Detachment is your weapon. Sharp, silent, surgical. This isn't about being cold or heartless. This is about protecting your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Your peace, its currency, your attention, fuel, and the wrong people will bleed you dry if you keep handing them both for free. They think they've got you figured out. They think, if I just push hard enough, pull the right string, I can break their calm, rattle their cage. That's why they keep testing you. But here's where you flip the script. You don't give them the satisfaction. You don't swing. You don't shout. You don't even blink. Because real power moves in silence. It doesn't argue. It doesn't explain. It doesn't fight battles beneath its level. This is ruthless detachment, cutting the cord, walking away without fanfare, without leaving a trace of your energy behind. Not every battle deserves your presence. Not every jab deserves a counter. Some things are too small for kings and queens to even acknowledge. But make no mistake, detachment isn't easy. It takes discipline. It takes control. It takes the strength to feel the heat rising in your chest, the urge to snap back and still choose distance over reaction. That's mastery. That's the real flex, walking away while they're still swinging at shadows. When you hit this level, you stop bleeding energy. You stop leaking power. You stop feeding the chaos. And that's when they really start losing their shati. Because nothing rattles a person more than realizing they no longer have access to your emotions. Here's the truth. They need you to care. They need you to react. Your anger, your attention, your engagement. It's all fuel for their fire. Starve them of that, and they burn themselves out. Let them scream. Let them spiral. Let them throw their tantrums. You stay seated. But don't get it twisted. This level isn't for beginners. This is advanced work. It's not just about walking away physically. It's about walking away mentally, emotionally, energetically. Total detachment. No lingering thoughts. No replaying the moment in your head. No silent arguments in the shower. Done means done. You don't detach because you don't care. You detach because your peace is priceless. And anyone who tries to disturb it, anyone who demands your reaction, they don't deserve access. That's the harsh truth. So when provocations come, and they will come, remember this: reactions are expensive. Every time you react, you pay with your peace. Is it worth the price? 9 times out of 10, it's not. Stay centered, stay sharp, stay silent. This is how you keep your throne. This is how you guard your energy like the fortress it is. Detachment isn't weakness. It's warfare without bloodshed. It's letting them punch at the air while you keep stacking your power. And when they finally realize you're untouchable, that their words, their chaos, their games no longer pull you in, that's when they fall apart. Because they were never fighting you. They were feeding off you. And now, you've cut the supply. So next time they come for your peace, don't fight back. Step back. Cut the cord. Keep the throne. Let them drown in their own noise while you rise in silence. That's ruthless detachment. Number 7. Keep your vibe high or get dragged low. Protect the frequency at all costs. The second you lower your frequency to match theirs, you've already lost the war they started. This is the truth most won't tell you. Your protection isn't just given, it's earned. The universe, the system, the architecture that holds your energy together, it's coded for your survival. But here's the catch. Those protection codes only activate when you hold your frequency steady. The moment you drop down, the moment you meet their low energy with your own, those safeguards go dark. You're exposed, vulnerable, playing by their rules on their turf. And trust me, they know this. The ones who sling negativity, the ones who poke and prod at your peace, they're not just trying to get a reaction, they're trying to pull you into their dimension, their vibration. Because they can't reach up to where you are, but if they can drag you down to where they live, now they've got a shot. Now you're on the battlefield with no shield. But when you keep your frequency clean, when you hold that energy high, even while they throw everything at you, that's when the protection codes activate. That's when the unseen forces around you, the universe's safeguards, kick in. You won't see them, you won't hear them. But trust me, they're there, deflecting energy, blocking attacks, rerouting every attempt to break you. The real danger comes when you forget that your power is tied to your frequency. When you let them bait you into anger, into arguments, into proving yourself. That's what they want. Because you don't owe anyone an explanation for your mission. You don't need to justify your path to people who'll never understand the blueprint written for your life. Every time you refuse to explain, every time you walk away instead of defending yourself, you're protecting your codes. You're locking your energy field down. You're keeping the gate closed. And that's a silent victory. That's the kind of win that doesn't need to be posted, doesn't need to be announced. It's felt in the shift of the energy around you. But let's not pretend it's easy. Holding your frequency is the work. That's the maintenance. And it's not a one-time thing. It's every day, every conversation, every encounter. You'll be tested over and over again. People will throw low-vibe nonsense at you, daring you to respond, daring you to drop your guard. And the moment you do, they win. Not because they're stronger, but because you've lowered yourself to their level. So you've got to get serious about frequency maintenance. Check yourself constantly. How's your energy? How's your mood? How are your thoughts? Because the second you feel yourself slipping into their lane, you've got to pull back, realign, elevate. Your power exists only at higher frequencies. That's where the codes work. That's where the protection lives. If you step out of that zone, you're exposed, like taking your armor off in the middle of battle. But here's the thing, they can't follow you up there. Low-frequency energy can't survive at higher levels. It suffocates, it falls away. The more you maintain your frequency, the harder it becomes for them to even reach you. That's why your silence shakes them. That's why your refusal to engage drives them mad. Because from where you sit, they're too low to even touch. Celebrate that, quietly. Every time you walk away from the nonsense, every time you keep your vibe steady while the world spins, every time you decline the invitation to explain yourself to small minds, that's the work. That's the maintenance. That's how you keep the codes active and your energy untouchable. They want you to break. They want you to drop down. But you're coded different. The universe didn't set you up to fight in the mud. You were built to rise, to hold steady, to maintain a frequency that low vibrations can't reach. So keep it high, keep it clean, protect the frequency at all costs, because when your vibration stays intact, the codes stay active, the safeguards hold, and no weapon formed against you can even get close. Number 8. Delete the program. Rewrite the code. Alchemy of Beliefs and Reality Transformation. The cage was never around you. It was in you, built with thoughts you never chose. Look close, really close. The beliefs running through your mind. Most of them aren't even yours. You didn't write them. You didn't agree to them. They were uploaded, installed like faulty software, long before you knew how to guard your own system. Cultural programming, family expectations, educational conditioning, social norms, and worst of all, systems that thrive on keeping you small, dimmed down, manageable. They taught you how to limit yourself before you even knew what limits were. From the moment you could absorb words, they were shaping how you think, what you believe, what you expect from yourself. They wrote the rules. They decided what was possible for you, what was realistic, what was acceptable. They boxed in your potential with invisible walls, wrapped your mind in chains made of outdated ideas, and you've been running that programming ever since. But here's the truth. The cage isn't around you. It's inside you, built from thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions that were never yours to begin with. And now it's time to break the code, delete the program, rewrite the entire system. You've outgrown those limits. Those old beliefs, they don't serve you. They weren't built for the chosen. They were built to keep people from becoming chosen, to keep the masses docile, compliant, running the same script day after day. But you're not here to run someone else's code. You're here to write your own. This is alchemy at the highest level. This is about taking every belief that's been running in the background of your mind and putting it on trial. Does this belief expand me or shrink me? Does it open doors or build walls? If it doesn't empower, if it doesn't create, if it doesn't elevate, it goes. No exceptions. And this isn't just some feel-good exercise. This is spiritual house cleaning, hard and raw. You've got to tear down every outdated structure, question everything, even the stuff you've held on to for years, especially the stuff that feels normal. Because normal is a cage. Normal is the ceiling they gave you. But the chosen don't live in cages. The chosen break ceilings. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something because of a belief you never questioned? I can't do that. That's too risky. People like me don't do things like that. Where did that come from? Who told you that? And why are you still running that script? You're the architect now, the coder, the alchemist. You have the power to burn the old script and write a new one that expands your reality, one that bends the rules in your favor. Because reality isn't fixed. It's fluid, malleable. It bends to the blueprint you hold in your mind. But if that blueprint is based on outdated programming, you'll keep building the same life over and over again. So here's the call. Audit everything. Don't let a single belief slide. Don't give any of them a free pass. Put them all under the microscope. Where did it come from? Does it serve me? Does it align with the energy I'm stepping into? If not, delete it, burn it, rewire it. This is how you transform reality. This is the real alchemy, not turning lead into gold, but turning limiting beliefs into limitless potential. Taking the chains they put on your mind and melting them down into weapons of creation. Because the truth is, reality follows belief. It doesn't lead it. Your beliefs are the operating system that tells reality how to function around you. Change the code and the world shifts. Opportunities appear. Paths open. Energy moves differently. You've felt it before. Those moments where everything aligned, where things just clicked, where reality bent to your will. That wasn't coincidence. That was you tapping into your true blueprint. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you get intentional, when you choose every belief like a weapon, when you build your mind like a fortress, coded only with truths that expand your power. No more outdated programming. No more running on someone else's software. This is your system now, your code, your rules. So burn the old scripts, delete the beliefs that shrink you, rewrite everything in alignment with who you are becoming, not who they told you to be. This is the alchemy of belief. This is how you transform reality. Number 9. Move like you've already won. Embody the power. Let the universe fall in line. The loudest voice in the room is the one that doesn't need to speak. Let's get one thing straight. Royalty doesn't chase. It commands. It doesn't explain. It doesn't scramble for validation. It moves like it already owns the room, because it does. And you were built with that same code. That same royal blueprint is running through you right now. But here's the thing. It only activates when you decide to step into it. When you carry yourself with sovereign certainty. When you move like you've already won, because you have. This isn't about arrogance. It's not about showing off. It's about presence. Real power doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be seen. It's felt. It's undeniable. The same way the earth feels steady beneath your feet. The same way a mountain doesn't have to tell you it's tall. You just know. That's the energy you carry when you embody royal consciousness. No more explaining yourself. No more proving your worth. Your existence is the proof. Every step you take with calm certainty sends a signal, not just to the people around you, but to the universe itself. The system aligns behind that energy. It recognizes the frequency of someone who knows who they are. Someone who doesn't move out of desperation, but out of knowing. And that's where the magic happens, because the universe doesn't respond to striving. It doesn't respond to begging, forcing, pushing. That's desperation energy, and desperation repels what you're chasing. But calm certainty? That's magnetic. That's the signal that tells the universe, I don't need to chase, I attract. I don't need to force, I allow. And the universe falls in line. Opportunities appear, doors open, paths clear. Not because you're scrambling, but because you're seated in your power. Unbothered, unmoved, unshaken. They'll try to get you to break that stance. They'll push, they'll poke, they'll try to get you to step out of your lane. Because you're unbothered energy. It threatens the ones who rely on chaos, the ones who need you reacting. But you won't. Not anymore. Your calm is your crown. Your stillness is your weapon. You ever notice how the most powerful people rarely rush, rarely explain? They speak when it's time, move when it's right, and otherwise. They let the world adjust to them. That's not by accident. That's alignment. That's royal consciousness. And here's where it gets even deeper. Timing is everything. The universe moves on its own schedule, not yours. You can't force it. You can't rush it. But when you align with divine timing, when you trust the process, hold your energy, and let things unfold without desperation, you get everything you're meant for, and more. Most people sabotage themselves because they can't wait. They chase, they stress, they push too hard, too fast. But you wait for the signal. You trust that the universe is already working behind the scenes, arranging the pieces. You don't panic. You don't rush. You sit back and let the current carry you, knowing that what's yours will find you at the exact moment you're ready to receive it. And while others are burning themselves out trying to make things happen, you're accomplishing everything by doing less. Less forcing, less striving, more aligning, more trusting. Because manifestation isn't about hustle, it's about frequency. And the higher your frequency, the less effort it takes. So remember this, stay unbothered. That's your greatest protection. That's your most powerful position. The moment you let chaos pull you in, you drop your crown. But when you hold that stance, when you move like the ruler you are, calm and certain, the universe responds every time. Carry yourself like the universe is waiting on your next move, because it is. Your energy sets the tone. Your confidence sets the pace. And when you embody that royal consciousness, when you sit in your power without needing to prove it, everything you need comes to you. Everything meant for you arrives right on time. So don't rush, don't chase, don't explain. Move like you've already won. Stay calm, stay patient, stay powerful. Let the universe fall in line. And here we are. If you've made it this far, you already know you're built different. You're chosen. The game has always been stacked against you, but you've stayed solid, unbothered, and unstoppable. Remember, the universe bends to those who hold their power. So keep holding, keep rising. If this message hit you deep, like this video, subscribe and drop the number 77 in the comments to claim your place as one of the chosen. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because the more we awaken, the harder they fall. Stay powerful, stay unshaken. Until next time, keep chillin' like the villain.